What is up, everybody? Hope we're all doing well. Welcome back to more esports talk. Yes, we talked about it a couple days ago. Now another Atlanta FaZe member responding on Clayster, technically calling them liars about one of the 3 GAs, that being for auto-tac sprint. If you guys did not actually catch that last video, we talked about the 3 proposed GAs, and of which Dallas Empire, Florida Mutineers, apparently 2 teams who were not in agreement with all 3, or at least in that notion. They kind of offered their own adjustments, or at least a guy like Clayster did. They didn't agree with those. It actually led to the Empire apparently being blacklisted. Then Clayster and ABeZy went back and forth on Twitter. Clayster kind of implying that FaZe was actually lying, and it was actually ABeZy then replying saying only 2 of their members, that being Priesta, that being Celium, had apparently started using auto-tac sprint just a couple weeks back. Clayster goes on to call them a liar. Then eventually it's apparently the Empire screaming the Atlanta FaZe, and they actually left very early on after they started. So that's why I showed you guys the clip of ABeZy responding, and on top of that, now their coach Crowder also responding. You can think what you want about these 3 GAs. After I play you these clips, I think it brings to light an even greater issue when it comes time for the actual Call of Duty League, and why these pros are being forced to make their own GAs is kind of embarrassing.
Literally going on a rant right now because people are actually that delusional. They're literally delusional. Like, these pros are just, it blows my mind how stupid they are. It really does. They actually think I'm going to sit here and blatantly lie about me using a setting. Like, I don't understand. I really don't get it. No, I'm good, Zach. I just, like, it doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't make sense to me. Oh, I know they find, yeah, Robbie, you're 100% right. They literally can't, like, they have to find an excuse for everything. And that's the funny part about it. Like,
my team, I know people are telling us that we are lying about everything and all that other bullshit, but like, my teammates, the Celium and Priesta are the only 2 people on our team that used it, and they started using it 2 weeks ago. They didn't use it in the beginning of the game. They didn't hide it in the beginning of the game. Simp has never used it. ABeZy has never used it. A major meeting I've never used it. So I don't really care for my team's sake. I think players that can abuse movement like that, it takes a little bit of talent, and there is a skill gap. So personally, I would like to see it out, but I don't really care.
And yeah, guys, I might be feeding into the rivalry a little bit too much, but I love to see a rivalry, especially as we slowly but surely approach Champs. By the way, another discussion is Champs going to happen online or on LAN? I know what I'm hoping for. Maybe I'll share my 2 cents in the future. I do like even more, though, the notion that Atlanta FaZe versus Dallas Empire, and at this point, Atlanta FaZe versus everyone makes a great storyline. Like I said before, though, I think it brings to light another great point on that Hard Points podcast. I will link this down below in case you guys have not seen it. Great, insightful comments, and of course, information from 4 key figures out there in the scene. And they touched on the fact that throughout this season, the fact we have players now being forced to make their own gentlemen's agreements is kind of embarrassing. At one point or another, the developer, of course, of this game has to step in and maybe think for the competitive side of things, maybe things should be adjusted. Now, we have seen a few changes here and there when it comes time for gigantic or any, menial changes to the meta. MP5 balancing, spawns being changed. Of course, we've had a few player meetings being called to potentially remove domination. That was rejected, and that's okay. But when it comes time for comparing Call of Duty League to other franchise leagues and other esports, and the changes they have made, substantial changes, have not been pushed to the point where players and teams have to make their own GAs. At the very least, I think we can all agree it doesn't look very good.
Exactly, and I don't think players should have to be worried about this. We're in a huge franchise league. Where is the developer support of at least trying to address it?
Yeah.
No? Am I that crazy to ask
No,
that?
no, you're right. No, you're right. Like, snaking is just not the same combo as something like a gun being
And that's
GA'd.
why
It's not,
I
it's just
think
not the same
GAing it,
thing.
the fact that players are trying to GA shit, in my opinion, right now to make the game not less abused is stupid. And I think it's unfair to the players. And I'm usually the guy that doesn't take the player side all the time as of lately. I think it's unfair to them. I think there should be developer support of the game, of at least trying to fix it, address it, or something. Other developers have done it in the past, but they just aren't doing it, and I feel bad for the players that they even have to deal with this.
There's a lack of effort when it comes.
And there's a like.
But once again, we haven't had a weapon tuning.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't had anything since the beginning of the game, man. Like, What?
And that spawn update.
Yeah,
We haven't had any. I'm gonna say it on broadcast as much as I can.
and that's why once again
It's just
it has
horrible.
you have the community
It's really
up in
bad.
arms at each other and arguing with
I'm
each
not
other.
talking on
Where,
this point.
I don't know. I don't like talking on this point, but I'm just gonna be honest. I just feel that players shouldn't be arguing with each other. I feel like it should just be more of an approach towards the developer of the game.
Listen, man.
And this all
I
comes down
can't
to
wait till November.
this all comes down to this is our first franchise league. Everybody's hopes were much higher than previous years.
And very lastly, this clip was actually posted on Reddit, so thanks to people out there who actually find and dig deep for these clips. It was Maven, now many months ago, over half a year ago, yes, as we approached the early on portions of this season, he apparently had a meeting with IW, and he knew before anyone else, or alongside a guy like Merc, that this season was going to be a rough one. Again, another clip out there which doesn't paint this Call of Duty in the best light or picture.
Still go. It ruins it. It takes the fun out of it.
But like Dota,
Listen,
Overwatch.
I had one conversation at IW that I knew we were in for an interesting year. I'll never forget that conversation, Joe.
I know.
Lil Timmy will never play again. What?
So what do you guys think about this Dallas Empire Atlanta FaZe rivalry? I love that. I'll keep on juicing that for all of you guys, and we'll see what happens next between those two teams. I think the more important point here is Call of Duty has been no stranger to GAs, but GAs have been predominantly a Call of Duty thing, and eventually, you know, when is the dev going to step in and say, maybe we should change some things up, shift some things up, and offer some more spice throughout this season instead of a 2-weapon meta, and of course spawns being broken, and a long list of other in-game issues. And then we throw the fact of online servers, which is out of their hands for the most part. It just it's sucky to see, and we'll see what actually happens with these 3 proposed GAs. Until next time, hope you guys all enjoy. Drink your water, drink your coffee. I'll see you guys back here next time.